Can Rubiel beat him? Say it!
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So I want to start this video with Sean Carida, specifically the respect that he gave to the reigning 212 champ, Keon Pearson, in the caption under his latest post, after both these guys recorded their workout together for the Battle of the Olympia video. So there was no smack talk at all in that hour-long video. And I want to ask the fans what were the most memorable Olympia moments in the last decade or so. I'm sure Phil Heath and Kai Green fight at 2014 Miss Olympia press conference and their confrontation on the stage. That was one of the most exciting moments of the last decade.
Phil, give me 3 facts as to why Kai can't beat you on stage.
2011, 2012, and 2013.
The late Sean Roden calling out the 7 times Miss Olympia, Phil Heath, breaking down his physique in that interview with Jay Cutler. That was another one. So you can call it whatever you want, but nobody can deny that interview ignited a real rivalry between Phil Heath and Sean Roden. And I can remember there was so much tension at 2018 Miss Olympia press conference as well.
This is your words. Phil's front double bicep, crap. Lat spread, crap. Side chest, he never done a side chest.
Yes, I did say all those. You saw the Jay Cutler interview. I'm just speaking facts.
Expose Phil Heath a little bit.
Maybe he's narrow. I think his front double bicep is crap. His front lat spread look like a crab. I don't think he's ever done a side chest. This is not a side chest in a pose. Yes, he has, probably one of the best back in the history of bodybuilding. That doesn't mean that someone like myself that work on everything that I need to work on, bring my back up and go blow for blow each pose. At the end of the day, condition, shape, size. I mean, this is the biggest I've ever been, 262, 3 weeks out from the Olympia.
I have nothing to say to him. Talk is cheap. He'll find out tomorrow, and he'll have that same looking Eeyore-looking face backstage.
The point I'm trying to make here is that some kind of trash talk, some kind of back and forth banter, that should be encouraged. Because it hypes up the Olympia even more. It engages the fans more. Now, I'm not preaching that these guys start disrespecting each other. Well, let's admit that Phil-Kai rivalry, that was so great because the fans on both sides, they got so much involved and so much engaged for the Olympia. And that specific moment on the stage, that is going to be used in the motivational videos for a long time. So what's really surprising is that the reigning Miss Olympia, Derek Lunsford cracked a joke that these 2 guys, namely Nick and Samson, they are fighting for the 3rd spot. And so many people lost their minds that Derek isn't a humble champion at all, which is something that is so bizarre to say. I mean, some of you guys might have forgotten that Ronnie Coleman said that Jay is smoking crack in front of thousands of people back in 2004, and everyone loved it.
Talk is cheap. You want to do something? Hey, we can do something right now.
Hey!
So in the 90s era, which is definitely the golden era of the sport, as Sean Carida himself pointed that out, well, let's just not forget how Sean Ray, who is an absolute legend of the sport, he was publicly calling out Flex Wheeler for the use of synthol in his calves. But somehow people do not remember that at all. And everyone glorifies 90s era. But in fact, some of these guys have very serious rivalries. They called each other out all the time. So do let me know what you guys think. Should there be some trash talk? Next up is the 9 weeks out physique update of Akim Williams. So I do not remember any bodybuilder whose lower back looked like this. He sort of had those abs, which is kinda insane for a guy like Akim. Because everyone talks about that his back double bicep, that is his biggest weakness, that is his weakest shot, and he loses so much ground. But looking the way how Akim's rear lat spread is looking at 9 weeks out, I think that is a good shot for him. So it is actually the back double biceps where he loses to so many guys, especially if the lineup is really good. And when we talk about Akim in this year's Miss Olympia lineup, he probably is gonna lose this shot to all the guys in the top 10. But he just needs to focus on his strong points and try to bring that next level of conditioning. Because the way they are breaking down the poses and choosing the winners based on simple calculation on who wins the most shots, Akim has such a great shot at cracking top 10 again at this year's Miss Olympia. He has that super tight waistline, He has incredible size. He takes up a lot of space on the stage. He has some of the best side shots in the bodybuilding world today. So the biggest question mark is whether he's going to be shredded at the Olympia in October. Can he duplicate that Arnold Plus UK look again? Especially the one at the finals. So he was able to beat John De Rosa, and John this year has been bringing insane conditioning. But that structural superiority that Akim has, especially from the front and from the side, he was just way too much for John. Next up, we have a 9 weeks out physique update of Chris Bumstead. So Chris wants to deliver the greatest performance of his career in 2024. Not only just for the people to remember that he was able to peak in his last year as a champion, but also because he knows that the guys that are chasing him now, they're hungrier than ever, and they're doing everything in their powers to dethrone the champion. So Chris has been able to win the Olympia despite not being at his best, especially last year when he left the door open for Ramon. That was the best chance for some of these guys to dethrone Cbum. Even Chris himself admitted that he wasn't at his A game, but still good enough to win. So this year he doesn't want to leave anything to chance. And that is why he started this prep early, especially after watching a new champion, Fazi, absolutely killing it at both Arnolds this year. And so many people out there believe that it will come down between Chris Bumstead and Fazi for this year's Classic Physique Miss Olympia title fight. And I think we can all agree that Fazi has been looking absolutely incredible in all the updates that we have seen from him in the last couple of weeks. He went up to 280 pounds in the off-season. His foot has been on the gas all this time, since this year's Arnold. Plus, he's the only one who matches Cbum in terms of height. And he has got plenty of muscle as well. So 5 times Classic Physique champion, going for his 6th title. What a great legacy he has built for himself. So will anyone ever win 6 Classic Physique Olympia titles again? I have to say yes, nothing can be ruled out. Because I'm sure when Arnold Schwarzenegger, he won 7 titles, he must have thought that this record will never be broken. So let the record show that Rubiel Mosquera himself, he never announced that he's gonna do Italy Pro after Dubai. So that was announced by his sponsors. And I'm kinda sad to report that there is a possibility that Rubiel won't step on the stage in Italy against Hunter Labrada. Because we are now less than 4 weeks out of the show. And if his trainer Chris Cormier still doesn't know whether Rubiel is doing Italy Pro or not, then he probably will not do it.
Can Rubiel beat him? Say it.
Bad.
Say it.
I don't know.
Say it.
I don't,
Okay.
okay. I don't know if he's even doing it. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Because.
So this isn't the first time this year when Rubiel names was announced in the potential comparers list of a show. It happened before this year's Arnold Classic as well, plus the Neo Pro as well. And it isn't like Rubiel was in a bad condition at Dubai Pro. And considering that he had another 6 more weeks to dial it in for Italy, so it 100% made sense that he should do this show, and he still might not win this show. But going up against a guy like Hunter Labrada, that will definitely give him more exposure. So Rubiel is one of a kind. We haven't seen this kind of mass since the great Ronnie Coleman. And seeing Rubiel in the condition of his life, that will be such a memorable day in bodybuilding. So Rubiel is still very young, and time is definitely on his side. But let's not forget that Rubiel left home for 14 weeks to go and stay in the oxygen gym in Kuwait, and just doing one show after such a long prep. That doesn't make any sense. Lastly, we have an update of Blessing Awodibu. So he is locked in with his diet and training for months now. So the boogeyman is definitely onto something. He hasn't stepped on the stage for more than a year now, as his last show, that was Italy Pro. So Blessing rushed to the competition very soon after the Olympia 2022. Although he did have an off-season, but he needed more than a few months in order to make some significant improvements in his physique, specifically his quads, because not having big enough legs, that is what's holding him back. But this time he has gone through a very long growth phase, and we have seen this year, all these shows after this year's Arnold, they have been stacked with great competition. So Detroit Pro and Van Pro, they were 2 shows where you can argue that the lineups weren't that deep. So Blessing's best shot, that will be doing one of those shows in the post-Olympia tour, and try to get his Olympia qualification early in the year. So the last Olympia qualifier this year, that is going to be the Big Man Weekend, and that is on 1st December. And none of the top guys from this year's Miss Olympia, they're going to go for that show, because that is scheduled 7 weeks after the big show. So that is a great bet for Blessing. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.